Hello. It's it's January 7th, 2024. I am currently a little late to work. Maybe. I should be right on time actually, but either way, it's not that big of a deal since I'm opening the store and I'll be the only one there. If you've ever had that experience before, you know that you've got a little cushion. Yeah, anyways, I'm in the car, as you can clearly tell. I'm trying to remember where I left off yesterday, but pretty much all I did for the rest of the day yesterday was go to my cousin's birthday party and play a little bit of FIFA before I went to bed. I also read some of my book that I'm currently reading. But my birthday party, or my birthday party, the birthday party that I went to was pretty fun. And it's definitely worth noting that spending time with loved ones is a beneficial thing, believe it or not. I know, right? It might come as a surprise, but it definitely is a beneficial thing. And it's almost one of those things where, like, if it's an infrequent thing that you do, it's more special. It makes you realize, and you're a bit more grateful for the loved ones and the company that you can spend with each other. Especially now that I'm getting older, I don't really have, like, the availability to do so, especially with my cousin himself. Like, we used to spend so much time together, but now we're getting older and things change, But I kind of wanted to talk about two other things today. One is, I just got my screen report. If you have an iPhone, I think everyone's screen report comes in on Sundays. I'm not sure, but mine was up 21% this week, and it's just sad. I'm not gonna say the number. I know the number, and that's really all that needs to be said about that. But it is pretty sad how much time I spend on my phone, and I don't want to do it anymore. This journal, I've made many claims about things that I no longer want to do, and I've made some progress here and there when it comes to cardio and the diet, but I don't want it to be just something that I say I want to do. I want to genuinely do it, be on my phone less. And it's hard, right? I have limits set up for Instagram, and I also go portions of the week with it deleted. But that clearly doesn't stop me from exceeding my time limit and re-downloading the app. And then you can get other apps that like set a hard lock on your screen time. But there's also the other side of me that's like, well, if I'm enjoying my time on there, what really is the big deal? Which I think is a fair little objection to all the naysayers of screen time. I don't know. I think I'd like to get it. This year I want to see it get down to a certain amount. I don't know if I'd be ashamed to say that this is like a good amount for me, but like 3.5, 4 hours. That's what I'd like to see it get down to each day. 3 hours isn't that bad doing something. You figure that's an eighth of your day, as opposed to, let's just say, if I got it there, I'd be cutting it down to I'd be cutting it by like 50%. And sometimes you have to be on your phone when you're texting people, trying to figure out plans and all that. So, it's not all of that is meaningless time spent, but that's really what it boils down to, is are you spending meaningless time doing something? Which, a lot of the time that's probably the truth. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is sorry, that sounded like a evil villain laugh. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is something that I've mentioned before. I believe it was in a poem episode, my poem little series, which I am going to bring that back. I've got to get a regular video out as opposed to a journal. I love the journals, and you know, a fair few people have actually been watching them, which is cool to see. I like you guys, thanks. But no. Where was I going? Oh yeah, I mentioned this topic in a poem video. And it's just the fact that, like, sleep is very similar to death. I know, out of left field. I'm hitting deep right now. At least for me, I have like a really tough time going to sleep. And so, like, me forcing myself to sleep, like the last 15 to 20 minutes of my day, it just feels as if I'm almost offing myself. Which, it's just like, it's not even down to the fact of like, oh, this could be the last time, you know, what if I died in my sleep? It's not even down to that. Which is, you know, that is one thing. You take that chance every night, by the way. Not to freak you out, but it's just like on a fundamental level, it's like I'm putting an end to the day. The day is no longer. And it just strikes me in a interesting way. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it does. And then I just get these thoughts about me being, you know, stuck in my body. Because, like, most of the time I'm sore and I can feel my body, and it just feels like I'm stuck. I don't really have, like, any longing to leave my body. You know, I've had opportunities to feel that way before. Let's just put it that way. But no, being stuck in your body, realizing that, you know, it all boils down to whether or not you feel mind and body are the same thing. If you're a religious person, you probably think that they are unified. They might be separate, but they're at least unified. And if you're not religious, you probably think that they are the same thing, and they are unified, but not by any divine sort of a mechanism, if that makes sense. But yeah, either way, like, the body's death has some sort of impact on the mind. You know, there's a thought experiment, which I'm forgetting the name, unfortunately, but it's like, if you shrunk yourself down to the size where you could walk throughout the brain as if it were a factory. I believe it was Leibniz who did this. Maybe it was Spinoza. It was one of those guys back in the Renaissance day. Oops. I dropped you. But I'm back. Let's make sure not to get in an accident real quick. Man, that's 2 people I've pulled over. I've seen pulled over, jeez. I'm not a cop. What's going on here? I don't know. Sorry, this last few minutes have been kind of clunky. But yeah, if you shrunk yourself down to the size where you could walk throughout the brain, there's no clear indication of what it is within the brain that allows us to make claims about, all right, where do thoughts come from? You know, where's the conscious? Where's, like, the person in here? You know what I mean? There's not any of that. And I think that's an argument for mind-body dualism, and that they are separate. They're probably unified while the person's alive, but other than that, that's the only time those 2 things really merge, if that makes sense. I don't know how much stock I put into that, but it's definitely worth thinking about. You know, as neurology expands, as the study of the brain gets better and better, perhaps we will find out where thoughts come from, all that sort of thing. But maybe not. Maybe it'll be a mystery. I don't know. You know, a part of my education right now is philosophy, and I think I know an all right amount. Like I could probably, if you gave me a few weeks, maybe a few months, I could probably teach like an intro level class, maybe even like a history of philosophy class. But after that, I get kind of insecure in a way, because that stuff is just hard, man. And just like anything else, there's many different branches of philosophy, but it makes me insecure because it's all so tricky. Metaphysics especially, and then you get into like, you know, philosophy that's not ancient Greece or something like that, like modern stuff, like whether it's Kant or Hegel or really anyone after. It's tricky, it's hard stuff to learn. Or like Schopenhauer or Heidegger or Camus or Sartre or Foucault, Zizek, you know, even up to the current day, we've gotten ourselves to a point where we are ruminating, I think that's a word. Ruminating, sorry. We're ruminating on some of like the craziest things ever. And, you know, treating it like it's knowledge. And there goes David Hume, but I won't get into that. I hope y'all's weekend has been good. Mine's been pretty solid. I work all day today. And then tomorrow is the national championship with Michigan. So that'll be something. And whether you'll see that journal tomorrow, no, you won't. You'll see it on Tuesday. Whatever happens. Tuesday's journal will be quite crazy if Michigan wins or if Michigan loses. Peace.